All right, we are going to go over a contingent cancellation, and I love this form, and it solves a lot of problems I get from coaching clients because they are panicking, their due diligence deadline's coming up, but they want a change made. They don't want to send a cancellation because then they might not get the contract back, but they really want to make sure something's agreed to. So that is when it is good to use the contingent cancellation. So that is in the selling section. And as you scroll down, you will see it. I might have already passed it. You'll see it right here. So contingent cancellation. It's just a little ways down into the selling section. When you click on it, it will look something like this. At this point, it's similar to all the other forms we have filled out. You're just going to put the buyer's name and then the seller's name and then whatever addendum number it is. So we'll say this is addendum number 4. Again, this is the offer reference date, so make sure you're doing it from the date that the offer actually took place, not today's date. So we'll just say the offer reference date in this hypothetical is May 13th. Then you add the property address. I'm going to save us time and just leave that blank. That's where you'd put that. And now moving down, this is where you get the actual information. So generally, when you're tempted to cancel because of due diligence or because of financing and appraisal, and you're in a time crunch, yes, you might need additional terms put into an addendum, but most urgently, you just need that deadline extended so that you can figure out whatever new obstacle you're facing. So this is how this works, and I'll just read this part. Extension of deadlines. Seller and buyer hereby agree to the following. So you got two choices here. The due diligence deadline is extended to blank, or the financing and appraisal deadline. So let's pretend in this hypothetical that you just hit a bump in the road with their financing. You found out they have to pay off a credit card and they probably need to sell their car to do it. Whatever, you're going to need an extra few days, right? So in that hypothetical, you'd extend this. You see today's the 26th. Probably to get the car sold and figure everything out, we're going to need till the 4th. You know, this is going to take some time. This is a big obstacle. So you say, we are extending finance and appraisal to June 4th. Now here's the next section. It says, notice of cancellation. If for any reason seller does not accept the terms of this addendum in its entirety by the applicable deadline provided below, this addendum shall act as buyer's written notice of cancellation pursuant to financing condition. So obviously if it was due diligence, you'd check that. Here you check this. So what it's saying is, if the seller does not accept to extend this deadline, then this will serve as a buyer's notice of cancellation. And this form has improved vastly over the years. I love this next section. So rather than having to put in the deadline or figure out, before 5 p.m. on that date, all you need to do is check a box. So the last mutually accepted financing and appraisal deadline prior to this addendum. So this creates a lot of safety for you. One, if you forgot an addendum and the financing and appraisal deadline is now different than it was, or perhaps you thought there was an addendum that there never was, this just remains all uncertainty. It removes all uncertainty. It just says this is due, their acceptance deadline is due by the last accepted finance and appraisal deadline prior to this addendum. Makes it really easy for you. And then just like everything else, you get the signatures and you send it in. So just a quick recap. You extend whichever these two deadlines you need. Give yourself a little cushion. You state which of the two deadlines you're extending. It's either this one or that one. I guess technically it could be both. I've never even noticed that. So you might be extending both. So then you click one of those or both of those, and then again you create your deadlines. Most likely on this one, if you were extending both of the deadlines, your due diligence is more often than not sooner than your financing appraisal, so you probably could just do this. But there you have it. That is your extension. It's a contingent cancellation. It will act as an extension for these deadlines. Next time you're panicking and you're trying to figure out whether to cancel the contract or not, panic no more. Use this and hopefully it will turn out in your favor.